I got stranded on a deserted island with my boss. She said, "If no one comes, will you stay with me?" The ocean doesn't warn you before it changes your life. One minute, I was staring at my boss across a tiny plain aisle, annoyed by unanswered emails and office tension. The next minute, we were clinging to wreckage in the middle of endless blue, wondering if anyone would ever find us. When she finally spoke, her voice barely louder than the waves, she asked a question that cracked something open in both of us. "If no one comes," she whispered, "will you stay with me?" Before we begin, if stories about humanity, hope, and unexpected kindness touch your heart, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. It really helps the channel grow and keep stories like this coming here on Heartfelt Moments. The trip was supposed to be simple. A short flight to attend a company retreat off the Florida coast. I worked as a project coordinator, and my boss, Rachel, was known for being brilliant, distant, and demanding. She never smiled in meetings. Never asked about your weekend. To me, she was just the woman who signed my paycheck and pushed deadlines harder than anyone I'd ever known. The plane hit trouble about 40 minutes in. Turbulence shook us so hard that people screamed. I remember the pilot's strained voice and the sudden drop that made my stomach feel like it stayed behind in the sky. After that, everything went black. I woke up coughing up salt water, my body half buried in warm sand. The sun was blinding. For a moment, I thought I was dead. Then I heard someone crying. It was Rachel. She was sitting a few feet away, her expensive blazer torn, hair tangled, knees pulled to her chest. The strong, unshakable boss I knew was gone. In her place was a terrified woman, shaking and sunburned, staring at the horizon like it might swallow her whole. The island was small. Palm trees, thick brush, no signs of buildings or boats. Just us, some scattered luggage, and pieces of the plane washed up along the shore. No phones worked. No signal. No help. The first day was chaos. We argued about what to do, where to go, how to survive. Old office frustration spilled out in the heat. At one point, Rachel snapped orders at me like we were still at work. I almost walked away. But then she tripped while trying to drag a piece of wreckage and scraped her leg badly. Blood mixed with sand. She bit her lip, trying not to cry. Something shifted in me. I tore a strip from my shirt and cleaned the wound as gently as I could. She looked up at me, surprised, almost embarrassed. "Thank you," she said quietly. It was the first sincere thank you I'd ever heard from her. That night, we huddled near a small fire. I managed to start using a lighter from my bag. The darkness felt heavier than the heat of the day. Rachel stared into the flames and finally spoke. "I don't know how to do this," she admitted. "I'm good at control. At plans. Not this." I realized then how lonely she must have been, even before the island. Kindness isn't always grand gestures. Sometimes it's just listening. So I listened. Days passed. We learned how to survive together. I gathered coconuts and tried fishing with sharpened metal. Rachel surprised me by building a shelter with incredible focus and patience. We took care of each other in small ways. She saved me the last clean sip of water one afternoon. I gave her the bigger portion of food when she was weak. At night, we talked. Really talked. She told me about growing up poor, about promising herself she'd never be powerless again. About how kindness at work felt risky, like a weakness someone could use against her. I told her about my fear of never being good enough, of always being overlooked. Out there, stripped of titles and expectations, we were just two humans trying to get through another day. Then came the storm. The sky turned dark and violent. Wind tore at our shelter. Waves climbed higher up the beach. We held on to each other as rain soaked us to the bone. In the middle of it all, Rachel started sobbing. "I'm scared," she said, pressing her forehead against mine. "What if this is it?" I wanted to lie. I wanted to promise rescue. Instead, I told her the truth wrapped in kindness. "I don't know what will happen," I said. But you're not alone. I'm here. That's when she asked the question that still echoes in my mind. Her voice was small, almost childlike. If no one comes, will you stay with me? In that moment, I understood something powerful. Kindness isn't about the future. It's about the present. It's about choosing compassion even when there are no guarantees. Yes, I said. I'll stay. 2 days later, a rescue helicopter spotted our signal fire. When we were finally pulled to safety, wrapped in blankets, everything felt unreal. Back on the mainland, life rushed back in. Phones rang. Doctors checked us. Reporters asked questions. Rachel found me before we were separated. I meant what I asked, she said softly. And I won't forget what you gave me out there. Back at work, things changed. Not overnight, and not perfectly. But Rachel smiled more. She asked people how they were doing. She listened. When layoffs came months later, she fought to protect her team, including me. As for me, I stopped seeing her as just my boss. I saw her as a human being who had been waiting for kindness as much as she had been afraid of it. We never talk about the island much. We don't need to. It lives in the way we treat each other now. Kindness saved us long before the helicopter did. It gave us warmth, courage, and connection when everything else was stripped away. And maybe that's the lesson. You don't need a deserted island to choose kindness. You just need a moment where you decide to see the person in front of you, not their title, not their mistakes, but their humanity. If this story moved you, carry it with you today. Offer patience where you'd usually offer judgment. Offer care where you'd usually stay silent. Because you never know. The kindness you give might be the thing that helps someone survive their storm, and maybe, just maybe, it will change you too.